welcome back. We are reporting to you once again live from Whitefeather Farm.
By now, most of you at home have probably watched our first video, which was on seeds. If you haven't seen that video yet, don't worry, feel free to go back and watch it before you get started with this video, or you can head back to it another time.
And if you are new here, this is our second video. We are talking all about plants, all about farming, all about food justice at a small scale farm in the Hudson Valley, New York.
Yeah, so last month we talked about seeds, and we got to explore all of the things that farmers are doing with seeds here at Whitefeather Farm. Let's go take a look and see how those seeds are doing.
Wow, look how big these seeds have gotten. They look like full-grown plants.
Yeah, and they almost are, but most of them are still in the early stage of their life cycle. Farmers actually call these seedlings.
So Artichoke, what is a seedling?
Well, Mushroom, a seedling is something that farmers call a plant after it's germinated, but before it's producing flowers and fruit. So, remember how we got to see some seeds last month? Well, now that those plants have started to grow, they've turned into baby seedlings. Yeah, see how it's starting to develop a stronger stem, and there are some more leaves? Well, this plant is growing up. It has not reached its flowering stage yet, but that is coming very soon. And shortly, farmers are gonna place this baby plant outside in the soil.
Ooh, soil.
Yeah, soil! One of the most important things for a farmer to think about.
Okay, so wait, what's that stuff that you see that looks like soil that you might see in a playground or a park or outside your school?
So that stuff is dirt, and there's actually a difference. Dirt is the stuff that you might get on your hands or on your clothes when you're playing outside, but soil is a living thing.
And it contains millions of tiny living things like worms, little insects, fungi, leftover greens and brown things that you might find outside or from compost, which is something that farmers and gardeners use to give their plants some extra nutrients, which is also just plant food. So when the soil is happy, the plants will be happy too, because they get all of those living things to grow flowers and fruits. So soil is one thing, along with a couple of others we'll talk about later, that farmers have to think about when they start to think about moving plants outside after the winter.
So instead of simply telling you what those things are, why don't we all try to go find them together?
Like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna all go explore together, even you folks watching us on video, and we're gonna go discover together the things that plants need to survive once they're moved outside.
Yeah, and so while we're running around Whitefeather Farm together, we might also run into some special guests who are gonna show us all of the fun and living things that are happening in springtime at the farm. Make sure you print the worksheet for this video, or you can use your nature journal if you have one, or even a piece of scrap paper that you might find at home. Also, make sure you find something that you can draw or write with while we go on our scavenger hunt.
So pause the video here, go grab all of your things, and then meet us back here for our scavenger hunt. All right, folks at home, are you ready to go explore with us?
I'm ready to start exploring. Let's go!
Okay, so Artichoke, how are we gonna find this first thing that plants need?
Wait, Mushroom. I think we might have already found it.
Really?
Do you feel that warmth?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's the sun. That's how plants make food.
Yeah, so fun fact, friends at home, plants actually make their own food with sunlight. They use their stems and their leaves and all the other green parts to actually make their own food, which they process into sugar.
So cool. So Sprout Up Farmers, think about where you're located. Is it a sunny day? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it cloudy? Do you see a lot of green around you?
Make sure you check out the worksheet that we're using today in our scavenger hunt. You can circle that we found the sun and then draw it in the section below.
Oh my gosh, wait, artichoke. What's this?
Well, it looks to me like this plant is growing wild, which basically means that the farmers at Whitefeather Farm probably didn't plant it, but that it just grows naturally here in the Hudson Valley.
Do you think that it still needs the same stuff as the seedlings we were talking about though?
Yeah, for sure, because it's still a plant mushroom, so it's gonna need all the things that we're searching for on our scavenger hunt today.
Right, but I sort of feel like you and I don't really know everything about this. I feel like we should talk to somebody who does.
Yeah, for sure.
So our friend Justin, right over there, is a wild plant expert. Let's go talk to him.
Yeah, let's go meet Justin.
Hello, my name is Justin Wexler and I'm a teacher from Wild Hudson Valley. We study how native people live off the land in the Hudson Valley in New York City and how they lived here for thousands of years and what plants kept them alive. But this is related to a plant that we get in the supermarket and that's used in common cooking. This is a wild onion. But for the native people of New York City and Hudson Valley, this is called winonji. Winonji is their word for all wild onion species and farmed onions. And this is a really neat one that you can find anywhere, in your backyard, in a park, sometimes even growing on the edge of a sidewalk. So this is a great little wild spring green. Let's dig around and see what the bulb looks like. That's the underground part. And that's where an onion stores all its energy for the winter so that it can make flowers in the spring. And look at that, they're little tiny onions. You know, just imagine if you're eating dried pumpkins and corn all winter and how much you'd be craving fresh vegetables. So spring is a very special time. And to this day, there's a long tradition among native communities and going out to gather the first spring greens. That's also a tradition for people all over the world, for people who live close to the land, is going out in the springtime after a long cold winter and finding these little green living plants. So we'll leave this little onion here to make flowers for the bees. We'll move on and see some other cool plants. Well, here's a neat one. Look at how big those leaves are. And they're curly, and they have a very red stem. This is curly dock. It's kind of neat. This is actually related to rhubarb, if you've ever tried that. And in the native language here, it's called shawas, which means sour plant. You can eat this like this, just raw. It's not bad. It tastes a little bit lemony. Or you could cook this like you would spinach and other greens. It's one of the first plants that comes up in the springtime is the dock plant. And yeah, another really neat plant that people have been eating all over the world for thousands of years in the springtime to help nourish their bodies. If you do go out to find wild greens, make sure that you have an adult with you who knows a lot about wild plants and how you can eat them. There are a few plants that have a good flavor, but that could make you very sick and you don't want to eat them.
Right, that was amazing. Thank you so much to Justin for all of that amazing local plant knowledge. So let's get back to exploring and finding other stuff that plants need.
Let's go. Hey, that looks like something that seedlings might also need.
Oh my gosh, totally. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Artichoke, you did it. You found water.
Amazing. Why do baby seedlings need water?
Well, I mean, everything needs water, right? We need water. The little baby seeds that we planted in our last video for sure need water. That's how they germinate and become seedlings. And these seedlings are gonna need water still, even when they're moved out into the fields outside.
That's so amazing. But how do we get water from here to the baby seedlings when they get put outside?
Right, amazing question. So we have this pond behind us, which is part of how Whitefeather Farm gets its water for its plants. And then there's a bunch of little pipes underground that bring this pond water out to the fields for our baby plants.
So, farmers at home, make sure you check off that we found water on your worksheet and also draw a water source of your imagination in that picture box below.
Amazing. So should we keep exploring?
Yeah, let's.
All right.
Hang on. I feel like we're missing something really important that the baby seedlings would need. We found water and we found sunlight, but where are they gonna go when they come outside?
Right. Well, maybe we should go ask a farmer.
Hey look, I see a farmer over there.
Let's go! Oh my gosh, Artichoke! There's Farmer Brianna!
Oh my gosh, Farmer Brianna, Mushroom and I have been running around all day and we still can't find where we're gonna put the baby seedlings when they get planted outside.
Where did they go? Over yonder.
Thanks, Ariana.
Oh my gosh, okay, so artichoke, what is the stuff that the seedlings are gonna be put into?
So, do you guys remember when we were talking about soil earlier? Well, this is soil. And this is where Farmer Brianna and the other farmers at White Feather are gonna plant all of the baby seedlings and seeds this spring.
And so, okay, so what does all of this soil have in it? Like, why is this important for these seedlings to have?
This soil has, as you can see, some brown things, it has some green things, it has all of these nutrients that the plants need to grow big and strong and grow the fruits and veggies that we grow here on the farm.
Right, and there's also all of this space. Like, seedlings are gonna grow into big plants, and these rows have all of this space for the seedlings to grow up big and strong.
So, Sprout Up farmers at home, make sure you go to your worksheet and check off that we found the soil. Next, check off that we also found seedlings, because at this moment, you're gonna draw the soil and your favorite plant in the box below.
Amazing. Should we keep exploring?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. All right, so now that we've finished our scavenger hunt, let's all just take a moment and thank the earth for giving us all of these amazing things that allow us to grow and eat our food.
Thank you, sunshine, thank you, water, thank you, soil, and thank you, seeds.
And special thanks to all of the farmers that make this all possible. Without their love and work, these plants would not be able to grow. All right, so now we are going to be hearing from a special guest at another farm in the Hudson Valley.
So if you'd like to take a second and pause the video here for a quick water or snack break, feel free, and then we'll begin our journey to Soulfire Farm.
Hi, my name is Brooke Bridges and I'm the Food Justice Coordinator at Soulfire Farm. And most of the food that we grow at Soulfire Farm actually goes to our community members and those of them who are struggling under food apartheid. Food apartheid means that there are systems in place that have existed for hundreds of years that make it really hard for certain communities, particularly low-income communities of color, to access fresh, life-giving fruits and vegetables. So the first thing that we do to prep the land for growing all of our fruits and vegetables is mulching. So come on, I'm gonna show you mulch. So similarly to the forest, when we walk in the forest, I'm sure you've seen all of the leaves and plants covering the forest floor. Well, we try to mimic that with our mulching, because having that soil in the forest covered in all of those bugs and worms and leaves, that helps to keep the soil very rich. And so we want to keep our soil rich too. So what we do here at Soulfire Farm is we take this brown craft paper, which is paper that you might use at school for, art projects. And then we lay this down over the beds, and then we secure these by taking this black fabric and pinning them down with staples. And you can actually see a staple right there, so they look just like that. And then once that is all secure, we take either straw or hay or wood chips and we scatter it on the bed. We want these beds to just have our veggies in them. And weeds can either take nutrients away from our veggies, or they can take up too much space, so our vegetables can't grow to their full capacity. So the brown paper it helps to protect against weeds, but it also helps retain moisture in the soil. And then the straw or the wood chips or the hay, what that does is it helps slowly decompose, and it puts nutrients into the soil. So that's why we mulch. And after we mulch, then our beds are ready to plant. So if you come take a look really close, we have these teeny tiny little onions planted in here, and I just poked a hole in the brown paper, put some water inside, and then made sure that the hay wasn't covering it completely, but just around a little bit so that it could keep it safe. And like they mentioned earlier, the soil is alive, and so we want to make sure that it's taken good care of. So that's why we mulch at Soulfire Farm. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you so much to all of our special guests who joined us today and showed us all of their amazing work.
Yeah, it was so awesome to hear from everyone and also get to hear what other farms are up to this time of year in the Hudson Valley.
We are so glad that you all could join us on this journey to learn all about early spring, seeds, seedlings, the things they need to grow, and we're so excited for our next video that's going to be all about blooming.
Yeah, that is right, Sprouted Farmers. Our next video is going to be about flowers. Yay! So, if you haven't done so already, continue to fill out the rest of your worksheet. There's going to be a section at the bottom that's also talking about your own native plant discovery, kind of similar to what Justin was talking to us about today. So on that sheet, you can Google what native plants are near you and continue filling out all of the questions and fun drawing activities that will be there below.
And we can't wait to see you next time.
Can't wait, guys. See you later. Bye.